this is the first generation that our kids are not going to outlive us. It's a big, big reason to do behind our food because it's ultra processed bullshit and we need to get it out of our damn life. So I'm pissed. I'm pissed off today, but I'm also motivated because we can do something about it because God has given us this day to do something about it. Welcome to the She's Rooted podcast.
We're about to get real unscripted.
So pull up a chair. Let's get to the root of it. We have made it. We are here. We are back. How is it going, Mo?
Great.
Great? Are you sure it's great?
It's great. It's, you know what? I'm choosing it to be great. There is a lot that needs to be done that I am not doing currently. But it's just part of life. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, like we said last week.
No.
So
yeah, we're testing our own rooted message. That is for damn sure. Well, before I give you guys all a heads up of what we've just walked through here in the last 20 minutes, let me welcome you all back to the Rooted podcast. Oh my gosh, the She's Rooted podcast. That is what it is called. If you are listening for the first time, buckle up, pull up a chair. This is going to be a good time. We like to have a raw, real conversation. Nothing scripted, nothing pretty much edited either, So here we are. Just a real raw conversation. I'm excited to chat about what we're chatting about today, but let me get some frustration off my table before we roll because we're back in Zoom over here in Zoom land. We tried to be a little more professional. I got a little bone to pick with Riverside. We were glitching up like that one movie that Mo had no idea what it was.
Yep.
And I don't either. Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, I just watched that.
Did you? It's
so
good.
I just watched
How
that.
she glitches?
Yeah.
It worked for her. It did not work for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to figure it out. I need to figure out some settings, but nonetheless, the show must go on. And we have a great message today, and it's raw and real for me, and it hits home. And I think that it's going to add some perspective and some value to grab a hold of today. So, Mo, do you have any frustrations? Any confessions you want to let out? No, just me. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to talk a little bit more about making the basics sexy. I know we dropped that a little bit on the last podcast where we're talking about perfection versus progress and how we need to remove the perfection mindset and we need to have progress be the thing that we show up for. And we did talk about making the basics sexy. And I feel like your girl just had her birthday not that long ago, right? 43 years old. I think we do get to a point in our life where not only do we get older and we realize that we don't have all the time in the world to do all the things that we need to do, and we also get to an age where the people that are around us in our life are also getting older. And there are doctor's offices that come into play. And, there are things where people walk out of a doctor's office with a not so great diagnosis. And I think that we don't always think about the choices that we're making in the now of our life that are going to create conversations that's going to happen in the future of our life. So today I want to really talk about making the basics sexy. I want to break down some mindset around that. And I came across this, I want to share it out, and we're just going to see where this goes. So, most people don't have a discipline problem, they have a standards problem. They train when it's convenient, they eat well when it's easy, they fall off when life gets hard, and that's why the body never changes. And I read that, and it's so freaking true. I mean, both of us in the fitness and nutrition industry for years, upon years, and even we have days that get the best of us and our excuses lead our life. And then we get shaken back into reality that, hey, life's not promised. You have people around you that are really fighting for their life. And at the end of the day, I don't care what you walk out of a doctor's office with a bad diagnosis. You have the now of your life to make some changes, and your mindset is going to be everything. So, I think making the basics sexy, I want to go into all those tiers with you today, Mo. But I'm gonna read this one more time, and I'm gonna let you kinda just roll with whatever is hitting your heart with this. But most people don't have a discipline problem, they have a standards problem. They train when it's convenient, they eat well when it's easy, they fall off when life gets hard, and that's why the body never changes.
So this is a lot, and I feel like I really wanna just keep it with you for a minute because I feel like you have a direction already where your heart is leaning into, and I wanna honor that and, like, hear what you have from this because there's a lot for me here, um, but in a different way, and so I'm curious to hear kinda, like, where your mindset is around this currently.
So, we're walking through some things with our family right now with health, and I'm the one that is the mindset of we're going to control what we can control. And the body is the best hospital in town. We have to listen to it because it is telling us a lot of things. And we also have to believe it and how it's feeling. And if we feel good, if we close our eyes right now, if you're driving right now, don't do that. But if you close your eyes right now, I remember sitting in AT&T Stadium, and there was a doctor that I highly respected speaking on stage, and he said something that I will never forget. He said, "Health is a feeling." And he asked everyone in that stadium, if you were to close your eyes right now and you don't feel tired and you don't feel pain and you don't feel bloated, and you can add on to any other thing that you could possibly feel on top of that, you just feel, and this is a Jamie Summers sling on it, really freaking good. That is health. And I think that when we're younger, we don't necessarily protect our health in the best way because we have this mindset on like, we're going to live forever. Like, we don't have to worry about it. And we don't live in a day and age where we have all of our, like, all the ducks are not in a row when it comes to walking into the grocery store and knowing what you're putting into the cart is healthy for you. We live in a day and age where over 73% of our US food supply is ultra processed. And if you're on the other side of this and you're rolling your eyes, oh my gosh, ultra processed, like, it's a real freaking thing, and it doesn't do anything for your body, and it's actually creating really bad health. And it is very serious. And when you get to a certain age or you get to a certain point in your life where someone that you love walks out of a doctor's office with bad news, we have to take a look at the choices that have led us to where we are. And at that point, the mindset needs to be, well, now I have a chance to make a change, and it's my choice. And I'm going to do that moving forward. So, where I'm at right now is I'm all over the place when it comes to like my mindset on not only trying to protect the mindset of who I care about, but also taking a mirror moment on my own life, who's much younger, and I'm old, but much younger, and realizing, is the Oreos worth it? Is the extra drink that I didn't need worth it because I'm in a good conversation with Matt at the bar? And not at the bar. We go to like this really cute, quaint place. Huge shout out to Sips and Stones out by my house. It's like the cutest place. But is that one too many? Is that worth what could possibly be waiting on the other side of all those choices 10, 15 years from now. Like, that's where my mindset is. I know it has a lot to do with I just turned 43. I know it has a lot to do with some hard news, but I refuse to lean into that hard news like, "No, we got this. Period. The end." Like, I believe it. I know that the body is very powerful. My degree is preventative healthcare. Like, I love all that. And I also appreciate our team of doctors that can lean into their lane. Like, everything is a puzzle piece together in our life. But I would be absolutely silly to not look at the situation that I am trying to build mindset up through and good choices through, and I'm not gonna look at my own life, and I'm not gonna put a mirror on the things that, "Oh, it's because I'm in good conversation. Oh, it's because I'm at this birthday party. Oh, it's because I'm on my period and I want some freaking carbs that I know that are no good for me." Like, I think that we need to start looking at our health and looking at our life in a different scope with more clarity, because there are so many things rooting against us, but it doesn't mean that we can't control what we can control. So I I think that the train when it's convenient, that's a real thing for me. Like, I'd rather sit here and do a podcast with you because I know that it lifts my mindset up. But I also need to understand that there are other parts of my health that I have to show up for. Because if I don't show up for it, that is going to affect me later in life. The whole eat well when it's easy. Like, when you're motivated and you're in this mindset of like, yeah, I'm gonna get all snatched up and like I'm gonna crush my health and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I want to lose 15 pounds and bikini season's right around the corner and I got this vacation coming up or I got this wedding that's gonna happen. Like, it's easy to eat well then, but are we eating well all the time? Like, I'm an 80-20 girl and I feel like sometimes we need to even make that number higher. Like, I try to be realistic because the whole point of bettering our health is to keep it better, and I stand on that. It's a core belief of mine. But, like, I just read in a book, Food Fix Uncensored. It's an excellent book. It's a scary book, but it's an excellent book. Probably one of the most important reads if you are interested in what is really happening with our food nowadays. I gotta find it. I hope I don't mess this up because I mean, guys, it's a huge book, okay? And I'm just remembering from what I read, but it was talking about for every 10% of ultra processed food that we eat, it lowers our lifespan by 14%. 10%. And I'm over here being the coach, like, oh, let's live an 80-20. Like, we're going to get to the end of our life, and is all those things going to be worth it? Like, I think it's important to live and to enjoy, but can't you do that it doesn't have a negative effect on the longevity of our health. So, I don't know. And you fall off when life gets hard. Life's always freaking hard. Grow up. It's fine. Talking to myself, like, li- I got a curveball thrown to my life today. Okay, I had to pick myself up through that conversation without a crack in my voice, and also then get my mindset right and get fired up because there is a reason that we walk through life's curveballs, and there's a reason why God gave us a voice and a heart and a passion and a path and a lane, and it could have been so freaking easy for me to look at Monique today and say, "I can't do this today." But at the end of the day, the reason why I can't do this is more of the reason to do this, because we don't have tomorrow promise. We have right now, and right now isn't even promised the next second. Like, that's how serious we need to start getting our priorities in our life serious. We need to make the basics serious. We need to get out of this freaking there is like there's this weird like thing happening in 2026 where like it's so crowded and clouded, and we think we need to do all of these crazy things, and then you have people telling you that you can I don't know. I'm going off on, like I'm losing my mindset on what I wanted to say, so I'm gonna stop talking for a second, recollect, throw it over to you, because I've been chatting too much on the front end of this podcast. But all that buttoned up is just to say we need to button up our damn life, and we need to stop making excuses for our damn excuses, because they're not gonna be good enough when we do have a doctor's office that we walk out of 10, 15 years, 1 month, whatever it is, and we're gonna look back at like, "Man, if I woulda just took it a little bit more serious, if I woulda dialed it in just a little bit more, if I woulda understand how powerful the basics actually are, and I didn't fall trap of all the marketing bullshit out there, and I just took ownership for my freaking life and the things that I can control that are free, got that right, and then stepped up on the other things that I have to fill in with the gaps that were missing, and that's a whole 'nother rant. But if I just did the basics right and I freaking put myself first and put my yes first, and I freaking showed up every day and my kids see me do that, like in this book, it says that this is the first generation that our kids are not going to outlive us. It's a big, big reason to do behind our food, because it's ultra processed bullshit and we need to get it out of our damn life. So I'm pissed. I'm pissed off today. But I'm also motivated because we can do something about it, because God has given us this day to do something about it. So, yeah, throwing it over to you.
Well, first off, you did not talk too much in the beginning of this. Well, first off, I apologize that I sound nasally. I'm still getting over this cold, you guys. So bear with me if you're going to listen to this episode. I'm a little nasally, but you did not talk too much. This is what our podcast is. It is exactly this. It's just having real conversations. So I am going to kind of like share my side, and this is very candid. So this is going to be also maybe one where we learn sides of things of each other and we're like, wow, but we still kind of talk through it. And that's how life should be. Because I agree with a lot of what you said, but I also have like questions. And so I know that we are an open, safe space here. And that's truly why we started this, was because we know that, we all have different life experience, and it does create questions. It creates wisdom. It creates all of that. So I'm going to answer that. But number one, before I do all that, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, your feelings, your life circumstance, and all of that, because I do really believe that when we all are just human with each other, healing does happen.
Right.
And I have to say, I am praying for you and your family. And I know that there are listeners of ours that just you sharing this, the power of prayer has been lit up. And so if you are a praying listener, please lift those prayers up. I know I don't have to ask you, because I know your heart is already stirred too. But so that's number one. And we are also holding fast to miracles. We are holding fast that God is bigger than any diagnosis, and that He has a plan that we don't understand, but it's His, and we will walk it by faith the whole way. So I wanted to say that. I also just say, like, yes and amen. I think you say making the basics sexy. In my head, it translates out. And this is why I also love this podcast, just so like the way that we hear things and see things. Like for me, it's stewardship of what we have. For me, I think like my 30-second background is grew up eating trash. Like you said, we're young. We're like, whatever. I just eat whatever, freaking sugar and diet sodas and coffees and garbage and processed foods. Then it was like crazy strict land, training for fitness stuff. Then it was like a mix of both. Then it's like trying all like these trends and all these things and trying to clean it all up because oh my gosh, you're gonna be a mom, like your baby mat, like I went through that whole gamut. And this is a topic I have to share with you, like has been a topic I have wrestled and wrestled and wrestled with because there is this side of me that I always want the best. I always want to be the healthiest. I always want to be my fittest. I always want to be operating at the top. I always want to make sure that I'm protecting my children and that I'm making sure they're the healthiest because I wasn't. Like that is a side of me. And then there's this one thing that and I know that this is not the normal. And I know that this is not the average. But there has been something in my life that has consistently been in my face that makes me question, or at least builds my faith bigger than even what we're talking about, what we can control and how much of it actually is in our control. Because my grandma does not, she breaks this whole idea down into shambles. Like, I know she's not the norm, Jamie. And I know it. And I don't understand it to this day. How this woman who was raised, poverty, started smoking at 13, I believe, eats Twinkies, Ho-Hos, peanut butter sandwich on Wonder Bread. The only healthy thing I've ever seen her eat is a banana and yogurt. She lives on protein shakes that aren't the best brands. And like the fat on the steak was her favorite part. Like everything that like she possibly could do to not fuel her her body properly. She isn't. Now listen, I have to say, she's not in the best shape of her life, right?
Right.
She has some health ailments, but not like the woman is 87, Jamie. She lives at home. She's outlived my grandfather. She is still taking care of an entire house. Like, again, she's got her issues, but her mind is fully, and she's got no Alzheimer's, no dementia, no cancer, no nothing. And I look at this woman and I go, how? How? You are against everything that I was taught. And so that leads me to the place where I'm at currently today, rooted in, and this is where I would share, is that I'm with you on let's button up, let's eat whole foods, let's be moving our bodies, let's do all the things that we know to do because I want to steward myself well, because I've been given a gift, which is this body, which is this life. And I've been taught that these are the things that feed this body well. And so I want to do those things because while I'm here, I want to feel my best. Yet my safety and I am no longer in the place where I go, if I do all this, then, because I see her and I go, it's not the case. Because then on the flip side, I know of a person who's done all of this, stewarded very well, literally the epitome of health outside and what you would think of inside, dies of pancreatic cancer in their 50s. So like, this topic makes my brain explode, honestly.
Yeah.
And it brings me back to God. And I go, you know what? My grandma also always says, when Buja, my grandma's Polish, when Buja turns the page, my story's done. And I'm like,
we got to have your grandma on this podcast. She's got a lot of wisdom. I always love when you give her wisdom.
Oh, she's a little spitfire. But that's where my head is at, like that's where I just get those questions and I go, yes, I agree with you. Yes. Do we need the extra drink? Yes. Do we, the Oreo, like that whole thing? Yes, I'm with you. Like, but then there's that side that goes, but also live. Like if you're having that great conversation and that's feeling like this hidden part of our health that we don't know about. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
But I'm going to take you to the Twinkie and I'm going to take you to the Wonder Bread in a moment. But to piggyback right off of what you said, Matt and I had a really great conversation about this. So with where we live, everything is freaking marketing. Now, I want you to picture back in the day when we were growing up and we're watching our TV shows. Okay, they were breaking down family problems and walking through family things. Nowadays, the freaking TV shows, they're drinking alcohol. Like, there wasn't a cocktail in everybody's hand back in the day when we were watching our TV shows. Nowadays, it's the norm. So, how much of our environment is influenced by what we see, what we read, what we how we interact with people? Like, do we need a cocktail to enjoy a good conversation? I know I don't, but it's become part of like a Friday night de-stress. We enjoyed going there. It's a great ambiance, right? But you could order a mocktail, you could have water and order some food, like, so a lot of what we see is what we feel is normal, and, I mean, I could go on a whole rant in, like, a different direction with that, with what
Yeah.
I'm seeing on my I know where you know what I'm thinking about. That's
Yeah.
another day, another conversation. It's like all marketing is what they want you to be led into.
Hmm.
But to talk about your grandmother's Twinkies, when was she born?
Hold on. Can I tell you a very funny thing she says too about
Yeah.
this? Because I talk to her about this all the time. I'm like, Grandma, I don't get it. And she's like, I don't know either. She's like, I don't know. She goes, I think it's because this. And she'll sit down and she'll say, I eat so many preservatives. I'm well preserved. She actually like says it and believes it. Not even joking. She's like, I'm well preserved. I've had so many preservatives. I'm well preserved. I'm like, okay.
She's a riot. I love
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me do the math on, I don't know when she was born. Hold on.
Well, while you're mathing it up, Mo, to kind of break that mindset, and I've had these conversations with a lot of people that I have had consultations with throughout the years, like, well, I've always eaten this and it's always been fine, like, but the thing is, the Twinkie that your grandma was probably eating back in the day it's 100% not the Twinkie today. She
Jamie, she's eating them still.
I know, but
That's
what I'm saying is
still eating them.
she's got more years. Like, what we put into our body is usually you're gonna show up 10 years from now. Like, so she's got more years of the good Twinkies than probably the bad Twinkies. So, back in 1930, just to throw a little nerd education out there, Twinkies, 1930. The ingredients back then: flour, eggs, sugar, butter, and vanilla. That was it. That was the Twinkie back then. 2025. Look at look at this list compared to this. It's this column right here compared to that. I'm not gonna read it all because 'cause we'll be
Yeah.
here for, like, 15 minutes, but
Please
you got,
don't.
like, enriched bleach, wheat flour, niacin, riboflavin. Do you remember that
Yeah.
from our
Yeah.
thing? Riboflavin. You have cottonseed oil, you got baking soda, you got all this crazy stuff, yellow dye number 5, yellow dye number 40,
Ooh, the
uh,
good stuff.
yeah, all this crazy stuff. Sorbic acid, soy lecithin, cellulose scum, like, whatever. It's insane how much different it was back then. So, no, we're not
Yeah.
eating the Twinkie is not the Twinkie of what it started off as.
Yeah.
Your Wonder Bread. Wheat flour, water, sugar, yeast, salt, milk, butter. Now, the list is crazy long, just like the damn Twinkie. Why do they do that? Why did it's because it's cheaper. It extends shelf life, makes food more addictive, and it
Yeah.
creates a lot of freaking problems.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying not to enjoy your life. I'm saying sometimes maybe we need to look at, are we enjoying it too much?
Mhm.
Are we protecting the longevity of our health? Things are not what they used to be, and that is gonna be true later from now. Like, we're already walking in a time when 73% of our food is
Ooh, I
crap.
know. And the stuff that you're starting to see now, like I'm seeing some real gross stuff. Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but some of this stuff, I'm like, all this like fake meat that they're making and like all.
Disgusting. Nope. Nope. Nope.
No, I'm out. But to your point, I do. For me, again, it's like you start to get rooted in yourself. Like you said, you close your eyes and you're like, what makes me feel good? What doesn't? Like for me, I think we've had this conversation. Like when you talked about the Oreos, I'm such an instant, like if something's going to make me feel terrible, I have no problem like not doing it. Cause I just don't want to feel terrible in the moment. Like that's how much that like I'm rooted in how I feel, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, if I know that I'm going to feel like trash, I'm out.
Right.
Not worth it to me. Even the taste, like that taste is not worth it to me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've been on this, and this kick that I've been on with the grocery store and like trying to navigate through the noise to help people better understand what true health should look like in our grocery cart. And I could drop it on this podcast as well. I focus a lot on two things. When you grab something and you put it in your hand, when you're shopping, this is going to add a lot of value to your life, and it's going to make you think twice before you put something in your cart. When you have something in your hand, you're going to ask yourself two questions. First one is, did it have a mother? And if it didn't, the second question then needs to be asked. Well, if it didn't have a mother, was it grown in the ground? And if the answer is no, then what you're holding is most likely either processed or ultra processed. And we know that if it is ultra processed and processed, it was once whole and was broken apart. And now it's all these fake ingredients that our body doesn't know what to do with. So, being someone that is always coached in 80/20, 20% of live your life and don't apologize for it, I think it is important. I can't unknow what I read, that the ultra processed food, when every 10% we put in our body, it lowers our lifespan by 14%. Like, and I'll pull the actual quote from the book. I mean, this is a big book. I got to thumb through it, but I did highlight it. And I'm almost positive that is what it said. It makes you rethink it. And then that compiled on life realness of what's going on makes you think a little bit further into it. But I'm going to tell you, the rawness of getting news can create the motivation to make a change. And like in the now of your life, you're like, I'm going to do this. I'm only going to eat whole food. I'm only going to, if it only had a mom and if it was only growing in the ground, that's the only thing that's going to put in my body. I'm never going to have another cocktail. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that because I'm motivated. Next week, I'm going to be like, babe, you want to go grab a drink? Like, so you have to have perspective around your choices, and you have to know that if you are standing in the grocery store and you're trying to look on that package of Oreos, I know it was grown in the ground somewhere. You know it's not grown in the damn ground. Like I talked about this on my other call. But we have to prioritize some things. Eating whole is simple, and the beautiful part about that is you can't confuse it. You don't need a complicated freaking recipe book plan. You don't need like to be standing in the grocery store with a list like, okay, I'm going to get my health in order. And it's like, I don't know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty simple. If it
Mm-hmm.
had a mom, if it was grown in the ground, it belongs in your body at least 80% of the time. Anything else, just know it's not doing anything for your body. But if it's doing something for your mental, like you said, there is things about that. But I don't know, you gotta button up your life.
But that's where I think that's beautiful too. And it's a great encouragement to each of us individually, like getting rooted in what are you convicted of? Like we each know there's like the thing that you're like, I gotta stop eating that, or I gotta stop drinking that, or I gotta stop going there, or I gotta stop. Like, you know what that is, and you keep doing it. Like to honor your own self and what that is for you. It's one thing to hear like, I gotta do. Then when you're like walking out your life and you get so in tune with yourself and you're like, this thing that you do, or this place that you go, or this thing that you watch, or this thing that you listen to, like it never makes you feel good. So either stop eating it, listening to it, watching it, consuming it, like, just stop. And if
Right.
that's where I would encourage people lean into, right? Because that's you telling you what's good for you, right? And when you listen to that, I think you just honored that and you just leveled yourself up in
Right.
that regard, you know?
Yeah. I think though too, a lot of times when we put off the things that we know we need to stop doing, even though we know that we need to stop doing it, it's because we haven't reached that pivotal point of being
Shaken.
shaken is a great word. Being shaken into now you don't have a choice. Now you have to make a change, and that change now is up to you. And it becomes more real. But it's not just the one thing that compiles the realness, the shake. It's your whole choices as a whole of things. And sometimes, like you said, like your grandma, 87. You said? That's amazing.
She
87
you know
years
what's even
old.
crazier? She's like
She
a couple years back, she's like, I think I'm done at 85. She
yeah,
actually
I'm a
told us
check out.
that.
Yeah.
I was so mad. She's like, I think I'm done at 85. I'm like, I think you don't get to choose. And she's 87. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think I don't know. I think we need to define the basics for our listeners a little bit more clear on this particular podcast. And I think sometimes the basics how you say it and the basics how I say it, it might look different.
And
And I think that's
yes,
beautiful.
yes. And also like, again, just getting back. I'm in such a place of peace lately around being so rooted in listening to what's best for me and drowning out the noise of our industry. If we're going to talk about fitness, drowning out the noise of that industry and do this, do this, do this. Like, again, there's the basics and there's the general idea, but all the marketing around like this perfect workout, this perfect thing, this perfect thing, and you're trying to over cram your schedule and do all the things. And like, girl, like stripping it back and just being like, this is what I feel like my body needs right now. And so for me, basics would be like, I'm body, mind, and soul, like spirit. That's what I am. That's my makeup. So if I'm being a good steward of me, then I need to be a good steward of my body, a good steward of my mind, and a good steward of my spirit or soul. So those are my three buckets. And for me, the basics is like, so what am I doing today for my body? What do I know my body needs? And if I am lacking knowledge in this area, where should I go to get it that's trusted and all that?
Right.
What do I do for my mind and in all that? And then what do I do for my spirit and my soul? And then the overarching piece is where do I fit into my community also, right? Service for me. And keeping it in that bucket, I still have the flexibility. It's not like it doesn't feel like a job or a chore for me. It feels like this honoring, like I'm grateful that I get to go, okay, I have this body today. It's healthy. Like, let's move it. What are we going to do? I have, sound mind today. I'm not promised tomorrow. And I don't, in 10 years, to your point, who knows what a diagnosis would be? I hope not, but I have it now. So let's honor it.
Right.
Where's my spirit? Where's my soul at right now? Like, what do I need to fill that? So for me, that's as basic as it gets. And it's trying to stay away from the trap and the pressures and the noise and the nonsense that I know is conflicting with my innermost being. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
I keep muting to cough. Okay, but what is that? What are these basics that we can make a little bit more sexy, as you said?
So, if you know, you know. I'm huge on mindset. I think that no matter what you are focusing on in your life, it's all gonna fall and rise on your mindset. Period, the end. So, you have to protect it, and you have to fuel it, and you have to build it, and you have to get belief around it, and that's gonna help build confidence in what you're focusing on. So, for me, mindset is everything. I need to make sure that what I am focusing on first thing in the morning when I have my time. that I make it my time. It's not the world's time. It's Jamie Summers' freaking time because I need to at least give myself that.
Mhm.
Like, we deserve that. So
Mhm.
I'm going to honor my mindset by fueling it with things that are going to lift me up and through towards what's important to me. And right
Mhm.
now, obviously, I'm very focused on longevity of my
Mhm.
health because your girl's getting a little older and we're getting some realness happening in life. Like it's just
Mhm.
it's inevitable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um so mindset for me that's the first basic that we have to get sexy. And there's so many people I've gotten into conversations with, they're like, "Well, I don't read books." Great for you. Like,
Amazing.
find something that works for you.
Yeah.
I never read books before either. But maybe it's pressing play on a YouTube video. Maybe it's listening to the She's Rooted podcast because it's the best podcast you've ever listened to in your entire life. I don't know. Like, you need to do something that's going to add value into your mindset. So that's the first basic. The second route to that is I'm going to fuel my body well, not when it's convenient or whatever the heck I said. What did I say? Hang on, let me read it. Yeah. Eat when it's easy. I hate to break it to you, but nothing about this life is ever going to be completely hunky dory easy. Like, it takes work. And if you ain't working it, then we're going to have problems later, right? So for me, mindset, nutrition is huge for me. And I have been in such a good spot when I'm rolling through that grocery store, practicing what you preach. I'm a walk the talk. The walk I walk, I'm the walk. What am I trying to say, Mo? Help a girl out. I say this all the time. I can't even say it. I'm a walk the walk I talk girl. Nailed it.
Okay. Got
There
it.
I am.
Yeah.
That is me. And it takes a couple times to say it, but I
You
got
got
it.
it.
But I've been really focusing on, is this from a mother? Is this from the ground? Like, and I'm looking at my grocery cart, and if that 20%, I use like the place where the kids sit as like my 20%. And then the big part of my cart is my whole food, the mother and the ground. And if that cart, if I check out and the cart has more of my 20% in it than it does the big cart, I self-check myself. Like, I'm not fueling my body well. And then sometimes you gotta rewind the tape. Why is that? Did I go to the grocery store because I didn't like, when I was hungry and now I'm shopping for all these things? Like, am I shopping in, because I don't have enough time to actually think about what I need because I gave myself not enough time in my day to actually go to the grocery store? Like, we do it to ourselves and we don't admit it that we do it to ourselves. So I second pillar is nutrition. So whole food most of the time. Matt and I are getting ready to do a revamp this weekend. So I'm very excited about just taking a step back and just reassessing some things. And I'm in this industry. We eat very well, but we also enjoy life probably sometimes a little too well in certain times of the year. So I just think that just a refocus is needed. So that I'm a big believer in supplementation. The things that I read, our food is not the same as what it once was. I told you about the Twinkie, I told you about the Wonder Bread. There's a study on the orange, like what our grandparents ate back in the day. Like, it's not the same orange.
Wait, you mean they weren't eating sumo oranges?
Yeah, and like cotton candy apples? No.
Cotton candy grapes?
Or cotton candy grapes. No, they weren't eating that crap. And the same amount of vitamins and nutrients that are in the orange today, you eat a hell of a lot more today than you did back then. So
Mhm.
soil depletion's a real thing, and trying to fill in the gaps is very important for me because as healthy as you can be, you also need to make sure you're getting in the fundamental foundation that your nutrition is built upon, and you need to fuel your cells. So that to me is 100% of 100% every day. And then moving my body. I love lifting weights. Love it. Like, deadlifts my freaking jam, but that's not where my mindset is focusing on. I obviously do have my strength training program that I adhere
Mhm.
to. I love my dance fitness. But what I'm really focusing on, if you wanna talk about getting the basics sexy,
Your
getting
steps,
my
girl.
steps in.
Your steps.
Period, the end. Alls I had to do is read in the freaking book that did you know that if you hit 10,000 steps in a day, that that's associated with lowering premature death by 50 to 70%? I'm in. I wasn't hitting 10,000 steps, and I'm gonna tell you something, Mo, for the last 5 days, I've been over 10,000 steps. I started a challenge,
Ay,
and that's a
ay.
big deal. Some days I'm, like, at 7, some at 8. I did, on my birthday, have 3,500, I think. It was not good. And it was Easter. I
That,
should've moved more, but I didn't.
yeah,
But I'm really, really focusing on hitting my steps, and at the beginning of the challenge, my mindset is getting strengthened as we're going through this,
yeah.
and I'm being more intentional with paying attention to how my day rolls out instead of, "Oh my gosh, it's bedtime and I'm at, like, 4,000 steps and
You're
shit."
walking by
And
your
I'm walking
bed?
on the side of my bed, and then I get bit by my dog, like so that's it. The basics for me well, actually, I got 1 more. Actually, I got 2 more. Sorry. Mindset, nutrition with supplementation, moving my body with steps, hitting my 10K a day, 10K a day, step day. Sleep, prioritizing that 7 to 8 hours every single night and keeping my wake time and my sleep time within an hour of each other. Very important for our health. And then, no drama llamas. Like, keep your drama the frick away from me. I ain't got time for it. I got enough shit to worry about. Like, so I'm out. So that's where I'm at. That's how I'm gonna protect my basics.
Love
That's
it.
it. Period. And then anything else that we do is like the cherry on the top.
There you go.
But like the cherry that was actually grown in the ground. That's clean.
The real one.
The real one.
Cherries
That's
grow in the ground? Oh, like
I don't
from a
know.
cherry tree.
I think. I don't know where they grow. I would assume they don't have
Picturing
a
a
mother.
cherry
They do
pop out of
not.
the ground. I'm like, wait a second.
They definitely don't have a mom.
They don't
So
pop
they had to
out of
come
the
out of the
ground.
ground. Had to.
Trees. They're on trees.
Are they?
I think so. Cherry tree.
Okay. I believe you. It's the ground. That's where my brain was. I was like, Mo's over there thinking cherries come from mothers.
No. Nope. No.
But yeah, that's my basics. I think that that's not too difficult, but it's also not being done in a lot of people's lives. We're
Yeah.
too busy. We got too much going on. I got no time for myself.
Yeah.
Better make time. Get your
Yeah.
ish together before it's too late.
Yeah.
That's the
Stress.
scariest. That's the scariest. That's the shake. That's the shake up.
Right.
Stop living in that mentality that you have all the time in the world to show up for what you need to show up for later. We don't have later. What you're doing now is going to create the later, and what's the later like later on isn't the news that you want. You can't how do I word this? You have to protect it today so that you can prolong things later. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you. I think the other underlying piece of all this is this hidden stress, though, also. And I think I've learned for myself anyway, um, because we're in different seasons. Your kids are grown. It's you, Tux, and the dog. Like, you still have your grown kids at home, but you and I are in different seasons where I know, and I had to get good at gauging again back to self, like, that these things are good, but like you mentioned sleep, for instance, there was a season where I was so hyper focused on, oh my God, I got to get 8 hours. Oh my God, I got to get 8 hours. And I am not going to get 8 hours. It's just the reality of my life right now. It's not happening. I have a husband that's a night owl that also travels. I have teenage kids that if they come in my room past my bedtime and they need to talk, I'm giving them my attention because this too shall pass. And for me, that's where you gauge value, right? Where I go, sleep is so important. But for me in this season, this conversation with my teenager trumps it. And then the fact that I got to get up with my little guy. And I got to get up earlier. So I have my me time before that gap. And this is where I want to encourage a listener that might be in another season where it's like, this is all good and great, but like to Jamie's point, like I don't got the time to like do boom, 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 boom. in one season, it might seem like this is a piece of cake. In somebody else's life, this might be like, holy crap, I got to block off 4 hours to just like take care of myself. And that could cause stress. And that could create a whole nother level of illness, right? Because you're just stressed out about not being stressed out, right? Like I'm stressing over my health so much that, so there's this predicament, if you will, that you're in where it's like I'm chasing health so much that it's stressing me out. And so I just want to also encourage that person, like that, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think that it's important to put a focus on it. I think it's important to get your ish together. I think it's important to, again, listen to where you're at. If that fire's under your butt and you're like, I'm radically ready to change everything, so that conversation with my teenager does not matter. They're going to have to figure it out themselves because mama's going to bed because my health is deteriorating. I need it. Kudos to you, and I'm cheering for you. If you're in the other side of the camp and you're like, nah, I'm going to talk to my kid, I'm going to stay up a little bit later, whatever, like I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like you're in that camp. I also get it. You know, like that's real. It's life. We flow, we dance. We have to have those pillars and those roots, but also not to the point of stress to where like you're, crazy over it, because that's not healthy either.
Yeah. I definitely want to say this on the back end of what you just said for our listeners.
Uh-oh.
Because she's not talking about me. At least I'm going to say this. If my kids come in, I'm going to talk to them as well.
No,
I'm not like I am in 8 hours of sleep. Leave me alone. No. I'm like, I will talk to them. There are things that, like, you have to live in the moment of your life. I think that is very, very important. But yeah, I just want to throw that out.
No, I know you talk to your kids, but it's also a different season where, like,
they're older. Yeah, they're 20 and 19. They're in their careers.
Y'all can talk all day. You don't got a little guy who's like interjecting and trying to like cut everybody off and be the center of attention. And you're like, bro, go to bed so I can talk to your sister.
Yes. Yeah. But I decided to throw that out there just in case. We got like a first time listener. They're gonna be like, man, that Jamie Summer.
Yeah, Jamie just tells her kids,
that door is locked. You're out. I don't care if you need to talk to me. You talk to me after 8 hours.
I'm doing my steps real quick.
let me get in my. Actually, funny story about that. I use my desk right here. I have this desk, and then I have my desk that I can raise up, and I have another computer over here, and my walking pad is like right here, right in front of me. Now it used to be this way. Now I'm walking towards the wall, towards the window, and the door, I can't see anyone, right? Because I'm walking this way. So I had to move it because my son came home and scared the heck out of me because I didn't see him from behind me and I didn't hear him come in, right? And he's making fun of me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm getting my steps in, bruh. Like, that's what I'm doing." And then Matt, he kept like coming from behind, and I'm like, "I am on a legit treadmill right here. I'm gonna fall off." So I've reorganized my office. So I say all that to say that my steps are important to me, and some people in my life were making fun of me.
Yeah.
But
what the heck?
Yeah. Maybe I should be like, I'll talk to you after 8 hours.
I'm shutting the door, locking the door. See you later, alligator. No, I think it's important. I think it's also important to notice, like, I say all that to also say your attentiveness to your health and the way that you show up for yourself and the way that you prioritize those things does trickle down to your kids. And I do think, setting those boundaries or limits or, times or whatever you want to call it for yourself and your kids knowing that it does, or your husband, it does also show that you respect yourself, people respect you more, and also that it's okay for them to respect themselves and that they should also be doing the same for themselves. It's just basic teaching you how to care for yourself. Like we said in the beginning, your vessel, you were given this body, like take care of it. You were given this mind, take care of it. So it is all good. I do think that it all deserves energy, time, and focus. And I'm with you that when things happen in life that jolt that it does put it into perspective. And
Absolutely.
you want to win the day, you know? You don't want to waste the day. You want to win the day. And it's like you stack these winning days one on top of the other. And if you just focus on that, it's not like you have to eat the whole elephant, right? Just like one bite at a time, just a little bit. Um, so it's important.
It's very important. And if you're on the other side of this podcast and you have recently walked out of a doctor's office with a bad diagnosis and your mindset is shook right now, let me be a voice in your life for a moment because I truly believe that we walk through what we walk through for certain reasons in our life, right? I'm talking about my mindset where I'm at, not you walking out of the doctor's office. Uh, because I wouldn't have this mentality 15 years ago. I would have let things shake me down to my knees and I wouldn't have gotten up. Okay. So if you're on the other side of this podcast and you have walked out of a doctor's office with some shaky news, or someone that you love has walked out of a doctor's office with some shaky news, let me be a loud voice in your corner, let you know that we're praying for you. Let let you know that your mindset is very powerful. And just because we have walked out of something with some not great news does not discredit walking into that office on how you have felt. Like, if you feel good, you gotta hang on to that mindset. And you also have to hang on to the mindset that you can control what you can control, and that is going to start with your mindset. Get yourself around a great support system that's gonna lift you up and out of your way because you're being tested right now when it comes to your mindset. And even starting off the day with some simple things like go outside first 45 minutes with the sun. When the sun wakes up, you wake up. Go outside with there are really great healing properties first thing in the morning. Okay? Go out there first 45 minutes with the sun, put your naked feet in the grass, ground yourself to the earth. Very, very important. And and just have that time, do some breath work, things like that. These are little simple things that you can do to get your mindset in the right way, and just never give up the hope that you have this day to make a change and you can absolutely make it the best day ever. Don't let anything ever bring you down to your knees to where you can't get back up.
Amen.
And we got to be grateful to God that we were even able to walk to a doctor's office and walk out of it with news, good or bad, because God gave that doctor the ability to be in his path, in his passion, to be in your corner or your family member's corner, to be able to have a team around you, to be able to let you know what the heck's going on. Like now you can navigate through some things. And don't let something rob you of of the now of your life. You have time to build core memories. You have time to do what you want to do. So, I don't know, you gotta live life to the fullest regardless of what curveballs are coming towards you. Like, you're the one standing at the plate. You're the one that can swing the bat. So fricking swing it.
Yeah.
You gotta lift your mindset through it. It's not gonna be easy, but I'm very fired up with excitement about just being able to, like, navigate through some things.
Yeah.
So and I also think that I'm taking a self-reflective moment on myself. Like, I know I can do better. I know I can be better with my health, and I live it and I breathe it every day, but I can be
Mhm.
better, and if I can be better, we can admit on the other side of this podcast that you can be better
Mhm.
because we all can,
Yep.
but you define what that means.
Yep.
But yeah, I really
It's
it's crazy.
It's good, and it's a good just wake up call, reminder, shake up of the reality of life. Like, we say it, we're not promised tomorrow. We say it that life is short. We say it, all these things, but when you actually like pause with it and you're in a situation, that it makes it more real.
Yeah.
You could say it a lot louder for others and grab attention and um, use it to strengthen the quality of your life that you do have,
Right.
because we're not promised and we have no idea what the quantity of days will be, but we can determine the quality of those days.
That's very good. Very true. Say that
Mm.
again. I've never heard it said that way. That's a Monique original.
I
We're gonna
don't know.
quote that
I
out.
just, I just was saying we don't know the quantity of the days that we will have, but we can determine the quality of the day, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is that is the most incredible advice I think I've ever heard in my whole life, Mo. That is so simple, but like the boldest thing that you can put perspective around. It's so freaking true.
It's so true.
I love that. I'm gonna
Let's
put it.
take that. Let's root that and
That's
let's
rooted.
all go this week and focus on the quality of the day that we have because we don't know the quantity, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go make those basics sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Period. The
About to
end.
go for a walk after this.
I know it's very nice out today.
It's
As you can see,
beautiful.
my hair blowing in the wind. I have my window open,
I
getting in
love
that
that
fresh
fresh
air.
air.
Fresh air. Well, I appreciate this conversation. I know that it got raw there. I hope that it was a blessing. I hope something that we said can shake you up in the best possible way. That is always our heart. Um, but I appreciate you always being there for me, Mo. It's a big deal.
Girl, I have to say I appreciate you again. And I think all of our listeners do too. The fact that you showed up today and brought what's on your heart to the table and allowed us all to just talk about it, think about it, chew on it, and reflect on that and be able to become, a little bit better in the next minutes that we have today and build that out because that's truly where we're at is just the right now. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, I love you, and I love you guys all on the other end of this. So
Yes.
I love strengthening the mindset around this whole rooted version of ourselves. And I feel like it's always something that when you talk about it, you then become strengthened in your own words to be able to get that passion, get those habits, get those consistencies rooted so much further because when we walk through our life not paying attention to things, it's so much easier for it to just like wither away and then we don't do it. So, but when we have a constant conversation on what's important and why it matters and taking ownership for that, that's when things really can start shifting in our life.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
get rooted on the other side of this. That's what we're doing over here. Get
Amen.
those basics sexy.
Amen.
And we're going to get that quote that Mo
Oh,
dropped
let's
and put that out there. I think that is gem. Do you have anything last words? Last thought?
no. I think we said a lot that was powerful. I think it's time that we all just sit with it for a minute and
Yeah,
come up with our game plan.
love it. All right. Well, until next time, ladies, stay rooted,
Stay rooted.
and we'll see ya next week. Love you, Mo.
Love you too. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
We hope that landed.
If it did, share it up, drop a comment, and you know what? We'll see ya on the next episode.
And until then, stay rooted, sister.